Hi guys. So this video is going to be about the importance of uplifting your man, but we can't talk about the importance of uplifting your man without talking about the important role that he plays. Now, you have to understand that there is a silent war that's being waged against men. You may not see it, you may not hear it, but it exists every single day. And why does it exist? It's to systematically remove, emasculate, and separate him from the household. And it's all in an effort to divide and create disharmony. You have to remember that a long time ago, men were the breadwinners. Like back when they had steel mill jobs and things of that nature, men used to be the breadwinners, and women were the housewives, so to speak. You know, we cooked, we cleaned, we did things of that nature. There's been a paradigm shift. So now you'll find that the women are the breadwinners. The women tend to make more money than the men. The women tend to, be in a better financial situation than men. You're quicker to find a job than your man will. And statistics will show you that. So this has caused the man not to feel like a man anymore. And a man has to feel like a man. You have to think of it like, think of the man as a rock. So the man is the rock. He's strong. He's supportive. He's protective. He's very, very, very strong. And you have to think of the woman as glue. The woman is soft. She's nurturing. She holds the family together. When you take the rock away from the glue has to become the rock and the glue. So now the glue, which was once soft, nurturing, things of that nature, she by default has to take on the characteristics of the rock. So now she becomes more hardened. She becomes she becomes stronger by default because she has to. This is when you get the people that say, oh, black women are, we're mean, we're mad all the time, we're rough around the edges, whatever you want to say. We're mad, we're bitter. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. It's not that black women are bitter. It's not that black women are mad. What I find most of the time is that black women are tired. They're extremely tired because black women have been through a lot. So keep that in mind before you call the next black woman bitter or mad or whatever like that. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the male ego, because the male ego is the softest thing on a man. And there's a misconception about ego. There's two different kinds of ego. Now, there's two different sides of ego, should I say. One side of ego is rooted in conceit. It's rooted in, the world revolves around me, that whole kind of thing. But there is another side of ego, and it is spiritually connected. It is the consciousness of self. So you have to be careful which side you have to be careful with your words, because your words can destroy the wrong side of ego for a man. And if you destroy the conscious ego, then that is where your problems are gonna start. It's some people say, you get women that say, he's full of himself, or he's conceited, or things of that nature. And I'm gonna be honest, what it may be, what I find is that sometimes these men are not conceited. That's not the problem. Sometimes he is so in tune with who he is that he knows his worth. And sometimes I find that it may be the woman, it may be you that needs to upgrade your maturation level to match his. And you'll see that when you do that, a lot of these men that you're calling conceited and you're calling, full of themselves, you'll find that they just really know their worth. They know that they're a king, and they don't settle for anything else. So that comes along with maturity. So let's now get into talking about ways to feed the good ego, healthy, the conscious ego, and to uplift him. So number one is follow his lead. If you see me looking down, I wrote a couple of notes down, so that's what I'm looking at. But you have to understand, follow his lead. So you have to understand that men are they're two things. They're natural born providers, and they're natural born leaders. The lion leads his pack. That's how it goes. So a lot of women are scared to let the man lead because we're so used to doing everything alone. We're so used to doing everything by ourselves that it actually feels unnatural and awkward to let the man lead, when it actually should be the other way around. That is the natural structure. So it doesn't matter if you make more money than him, because I know that's an issue with a lot of females. It does not matter if you make more money than him, because money is a European man-made invention. So money should have no kind of part. It should play no part in your ability to let your man lead you. Okay? If money plays a part in your ability to let him lead you, then that's a whole nother story, because you have some other issues going on. You have some emotional attachments to money that we need to delve into. Okay? But regardless of money, he is your leader. You wouldn't, if some stuff went down, you wouldn't call your girls to come save you. You would call your man. That's your leader. So I'm gonna tell you what I used to do. When I was in previous relationships and things like that, I would text my man every day and say, "Hey babe, how can I serve you today?" Now before you go there and look at it as like servitude like that, what can I serve you today, king, or whatever means, all it means is, how can I help you today? That makes him feel like that he's in charge, which, he is. That makes him feel like he's in charge, makes him feel like that he is the leader that he naturally is. And it just helps everything to kind of mesh together. Number two is compliment him. Now, this may seem small, but it plays such a major role in how he views himself. Men are reminded every single day of the things that they're not doing right, the things that they haven't accomplished, the goals that they haven't accomplished, the dreams that they never, put in action to actually accomplish. All of these things that they're reminded that they're not doing right. So it's imperative that you remind them of what they're doing right, even if it's something small, as small as, oh, well, hey, babe, you look nice in that shirt, or whatever the case may be. So compliment him, because as I said, men are knocked down every single day. So I'm gonna tell you what I used to do. In my previous relationship, I would keep a dry erase board on my boyfriend's refrigerator. And every single day I would write little notes like, "I love you," or "I'm proud of you," or "Hey babe, carpe diem," which means seize the day. Little things like that. So when he would go to the refrigerator and see that, it would set the tone for the day. So it's little things like that that really, really, really make a big impact, and it lets your man know that you don't take him for granted. Number three is make him a priority. We as women, we can get so caught up in the like extraneous duties of, being a mom, being a, and have working and all of these type of things, that he can actually get pushed on the back burner relatively easy. So you have to always keep in mind his importance and his role as your protector and your provider. So here's what you do. You tell him that you carved out a chunk of time to do whatever he wants to do. Doesn't matter what it is. So this way, it makes him feel like that he's in charge. It makes him feel like that you carved out a chunk of time for him to do specifically what he wanted to do. So it makes him feel special. But what it also does is you have carved out the time to make it convenient for you. So it's a win-win situation. Number four, this one is a hard one, but it's give him space. Sometimes when he's had a hard day, sometimes it's just best to just leave him alone. And that's hard for us as women, because since we're natural nurturers, we want to kind of, you know, pick and see what's wrong so we can fix it and all of that. Sometimes it's just best to leave him alone. A lot of women get offended when he, wants his space or whatever, because they feel like that he's shutting them out. But alone time it's one of the healthiest things to do, because what it does is when he has alone time, he's realigning himself, and he is getting back in tune with his spiritual self. Alone time is just another form of meditation. So it is to realign your spiritual self. If you cannot be alone by yourself, you cannot be with anybody. So what you do is you basically tell him, you use your words. You tell him, well, babe, I'm here for you. Anything you need me to do, I'm here for. So you're just basically verbally reassuring him that you're not going anywhere. When he wants to talk, you'll be available. And it gives him reassurance. Number five is listen. Now, this may seem like a simple task, but there is an art to listening without talking. There is an art to listening and retaining the information that person just told you. So we as women, when we know something's wrong with our man, we want to find 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 different solutions to try to make it all better. But sometimes you just need to hush and listen to him talk, because sometimes he needs to vent. That's the other thing. Men, when he does start venting, The last thing you want to do is interrupt him while he's venting, because men are brought up and they're taught to hold stuff in and retain stuff. So when they do finally start opening up, the very last thing you want to do is break that focus, because because what he's going to do is he's going to shut back down. So if when he starts talking, just hush and just listen. Number 6 is food and sex. Now, I could sit here and tell you the simplified version of, oh, well, it just makes us feel good. It just makes them feel good, which is true. But anybody who knows me knows I'm going to delve into the deeper side of stuff. So I'm going to tell you why it's effective and why it feels good. Now, when you have sex and when you eat food, there's two things that make them correlate with each other. And I'm going to tell you what it is. When you're having sex or eating food, something is really, really, really good. It's 3 neurotransmitters inside your brain that get released: norepinephrine, serotonin, and dopamine. What these 3 neurotransmitter receptors do is they're the feel good hormones. So if you've ever, like, after a good workout and you're like, oh God, I feel good, it's because the serotonin, the norepinephrine, and the dopamine have been released in your brain. They're chemicals, so it makes you feel good. And that's why food and sex are the most sought after things in this world, and they always will be, because they are the only 2 things. Well, I'm not gonna say they're the only 2 things, but they're the 2 things that release the most mass quantities of these 3 neurotransmitters. So sex and food is important. When they say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, it's literal science behind that. So that's not just something that your grandma said. That's really true. And the last one, number 7, is respect him. Now, this one is extremely major because men interpret respect as love. So if you don't respect him, then you don't love him. So you have to always be cautious of your words, be cautious of how you say stuff, what you do, your actions, your mannerisms, because if he interprets it as disrespect, then that's a whole nother issue that you're gonna have to deal with. And if you find out from him later on down the road or whatever that he felt disrespected by something that you did or you said, then it is your job to correct that, because that can play a major hindrance the next time that you say, I love you. He could look at that as the authenticity is not quite real there, because you have disrespected him in the past and it's now in his subconscious. So every time you do something that he feels that that he views as disrespect the next time, that's going to bring that in the subconscious to the forefront to the conscious. So you have to be aware when it comes to respect, because as I said, that plays a major role in how he views your authenticity of feelings for him. All right, guys. That's pretty much wraps it up. I mean, I have like a million more that I could tell you about, but this video is already 13 minutes, so it's longer than I wanted it to be. But to wrap it up, just keep in mind that your man is fighting every day just by existing, just by trying to make it in this world. So when he comes home, don't let him have a fight there too. All right? There's absolutely nothing wrong with catering to your man. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being submissive to your man. So don't let any weak woman tell you different, because I'm a strong ass woman and I'm telling it to you. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'll probably make a video on submission too, because there's a lot of misconceptions about that as well. And there's a lot of fears about that as well. But anyway, I hope some of my words resonated with you. And until the next video, I'll talk to you guys soon.